Guys, huge shout out to Alfa Romeo Maserati of White Plains right over here. They did a really great job of providing us with a Stelvio over today, and they have a really nice collection of vehicles, and we may be having some more stuff coming from here soon, so stay tuned for that. And again, huge shout out to them. Okay guys, we're about to go inside of the new 2020 Alfa Romeo Stelvio. We have the key fob right here. As you can see, the mirrors are closed, so once you open the key fob right here, they will come out when you turn the vehicle on. Now this doesn't have necessarily your full access buttons over here, so you do have to press a button if you want to unlock it for your keyless entry. Otherwise it is unlocked right now, so we'll open the door. Now, coming inside the 2020 Stelvio, there was a lot of changes that Alfa Romeo made, specifically on the quality and the materials to make it even a higher standard than it ever was before. So just going over to the door panels up first, we see up top we have this beautiful stitched leather. Now this is genuine leather, and this is actual stitching going fully across from each side. Now going below, we have this really nice multi-level design, right? So we have this nice real wood, and you can even tell it's real wood because you can see different pores over here on the wood. If you feel it in person, it has a nice rich feeling to it. Of course, you have your aluminum door handle right there. Now these are your unlock and lock buttons, your some memory controls, of course a nice metal speaker grill for your Harman Kardon auto system. And coming lower, we have again some nice stitched leather, which is nice and soft. And then we have your buttons over here, and again a nice lower panel with another speaker grill right there. Now again, these materials have been improved. So all these materials, this is soft touch here, this is not hard plastic anymore. You know, it's been a lot better improved over the previous generation, the facelifted model, if you want to call it. This is really an interior facelift for 2020. So now we're going to take a step inside the 2020 Stelvio. There's a nice, actually pretty low entry height, which is pretty good, especially for SUV. Nice solid thunk in the doors with that Giorgio platform. And now we are in the interior of the 2020 Stelvio. Now to start up your Stelvio, you have to have either your key in your pocket, you can put it over here, I have mine in the pocket right now, and you press the start button right here, which is located on the steering wheel. Of course, you have to have your foot on the brake. And of course, the mirrors are gonna pop out on either side. So now let's close the windows, which again are automatic on all four sides, so we can have a nice quieter interior. Let's turn the radio off so you don't get copyright violations. And now we're here. So here again is the 2020 Stelvio interior. Some of the main new features are this brand new infotainment system that is an 8.8-inch touchscreen system, and it's standard on every single Alfa 2020, Giulia, and Stelvio. They got rid of the smaller system and the larger system, which is really nice. They've also increased things like the contrast, the brightness, and the placement of it so you can actually see it better in the sun. That was a big complaint of before. On the steering wheel, they actually have included a new steering wheel design. They've made it much more premium, so the leather feels even better than it was before. You have genuine stitching going all through the inside of it, going on the top, these nice additional grab handles right here, and even the diameter of the steering wheel is pretty small. It offers a really sporty feel for it, and it is a flat bottom design as well, keeping that Alfa Romeo racing heritage just along with that start-stop button on the steering wheel as well. They have even changed the trim around it and the buttons as well to make it again more premium feeling. And then we're going to come to the center console, which again was massively changed for 2020. If you have noticed, I'll try to put a picture here to show you the compare and contrast from last year and 2020. This entire section is new. Well, actually this whole piece is new. So up here we have a new shifter design. This is a much more elegant and styled interior to say. This has a nice touch of the Italian flag right here. This shifter is still around. It has some nice stitching going around, and it feels really nice. It's actually not that complicated to use, so if you want to put it in drive, you just press the little lever on the back and pop it down to drive. If you want to put it up, you just pop it up to reverse or neutral, shift it over to left, back and drive, shift over to left, manual. This one doesn't get the paddle shifters as it is in one of the sport models. And then to put it back in park, you just press the P right on top. It's actually pretty simple to use, unlike some of the other systems. You do have your electronic parking brake button right here. And then coming lower, this is the new interface for the new touchscreen system. Now, if you don't want to use the touchscreen, of course, you can use this. So you have a nice quick home button and a settings button, and this nice center dial. This is actually just a screen protector on it right now. You can go up, down, left, right, and it swivels around. The biggest thing is the quality of these buttons has been improved. So previously the buttons felt a little bit cheap. You could wiggle them around. Now everything's nice and solid. Even the center console, a lot of people do a center console test. It feels like BMW and Audi levels of quality. It doesn't even wiggle, which is great. And it's just a much better improved materials. Even you have this nice open pore wood over here, which also continues along the dashboard, which is a nice silver trim going across to accentuate the nice long, and it gives it more of a spacious interior feel. Coming down lower in the center console, we do have your actual center console right here. You have your USB aux and USB-C port, which is really nice to see. And you also have a new wireless charging pad right in the center, so you could close this, which is nice stitched in leather, actually really soft. And you can just shove your phone right here and it'll charge it while you're going along. And if you want, you can plug it right in here to access Apple CarPlay, which is really nice to see. It also has Android Auto as well if you have an Android phone. Additionally, in the center console, this is your volume control knob right here, as you can see. And again, the feel has been really nicely improved. I don't know if you can hear this up close. It's a nice tactile feedback to it. And left to right, you have your forward and reverse buttons, and you do have a power on and off to turn the entire system on and off with this push of the button down here. Now this is your DNA selector. So on the higher end models, you do get a suspension button right in the center, so you push this down to access the suspension settings. But here you have dynamic, natural, and advanced efficiency. So advanced efficiency is your lowest drive mode, as you can see it pop up right in the center console right here. Advanced efficiency is technically your economy mode, so it's going to be for economy driving. Bump it up to natural. This is more of like your normal everyday driving function. And then if you bump it right one more up to dynamic, this is more of your sporty driving. So you have your red up here, this centerpiece turns red, and you know, the throttle and the steering, everything tightens up a little bit, so it makes it a little more sporty. So those are your drive modes right there. Moving up in the center console, you do have some nice two cup holders right here, another USB port, and your 12-volt power outlet. This is really simple to close. You just push it. It has a nice thick soft closing feature right there. I really do like what they did on this side with this nice stitched leather trim over here and this nice silver on the sides, and this is also similar on this side as well. So again, the interior quality has been really nicely improved. And one of the nice things I just noticed right now is this stitching continues all the way from the sides to the doors, goes back there, continues back across the entirety of this leather stitched dashboard, and up here. It looks like a cut and sewn Italian suit or something of the sorts. And the funniest thing is you can tell it's hand stitched because it's nice, but it's a little bit wobbly. So you do have that nice handmade Italian suit style feel in here, which is kind of cool. Now, one of the most important new things, again, is this new infotainment system. So right now we're on the home feature right here. Like I said, you can touch it, so it is a touch screen. It's actually pretty quick to respond, and it's kind of like this sort of quasi iDrive design, where you have 3 tiles on each display that you can swipe through, which is really nice. Again, it's really fast. I'm kind of impressed for this. And again, one of the unique things about Alfa Romeo compared to the other FCA brands is everything's just unique to Alfa Romeo. The steering wheel, the buttons, the infotainment system. It's not shared with Jeep or Dodge or Maserati. It's very all unique to the brand, which is kind of interesting. I like how they did that. So back to the infotainment system, you can see you have your radio function right here, your navigation, and of course your phone. Now, if you want to expand these, you can actually just press on one of them and it will expand to a full view. And you can go back to your home button. If you also want to, while you're driving, you can access the home button and again the setting button right here, and you can even control the entire infotainment system through this dial, which actually is pretty easy to use. I personally like doing this while I'm driving. The navigation system is actually not that bad. It's pretty more modern than a lot of other systems on the market that are from other brands. You can have some quick setting buttons up there, and expand this over to get your, or close it to get your different navigation set points and stuff. You also do get a 3D navigation option. Let's see if it works right here. That was our 3D navigation option actually. So it's not that bad. It's pretty quick. You do have pinch to zoom. One interesting thing is this display gets really hot. So as I'm doing this, I can feel the heat coming off the display on my fingers. So that's I don't know if that's concerning or not, but I can feel the heat coming off of it, which is really interesting. I haven't felt that on many other displays. Okay, we're gonna go back home and we'll go through the other menu functions. You have your phone right here. Let's go to the driving assistant. So this one does, for 2020, they have added some more driving safety systems. So you have active blind spot, forward collision warning, you have a speed limiter, park sense, backup cameras, and other stuff. The backup camera is okay. I'm gonna show you this right now. We're gonna go into reverse. And you can see the backup camera. I think it does have trajectory. Yes, it does have trajectory. As you can see, as I turn the steering wheel, the lines change on the screen. It's kind of small and the resolution is not good. So it definitely could be better up there. And this is going to show you your sensors, and you can see right there, parking sensors and stuff. So we'll put it back in park by pressing the button. Yeah, so the backup camera could definitely be better. It's not the best. If we're going back, we can go to the other screens. You have your climate controls. What is very nice is that they separated the climate controls, so you have your whole climate settings over here. So you have your dual zone climate control system, and which is really nice is they added buttons for your heated seats. You have 3-stage heated seats and a heated steering wheel right here, so you don't have to go digging through the infotainment system. Now, of course, if you do go into climate controls, you can access these functions within here. As you can see, you have a nice display of going all that stuff right here, and you do get more additional features to go through it. You have your seat settings right here, which is kind of nice. But it is nice that they do have easy buttons, so you don't have to go information digging throughout this entire system. Additional stuff we have up here is performance pages. I wouldn't really call these performance pages. They're kind of just like information pages for the stuff in the car. So you press performance content, you can see like drive modes and technical gauges and torque, the torque split of the all-wheel drive system. It's kind of cool stuff. Nothing really performance-y. You're really gonna have to step up to like a quadrifolio model for that. This is really cool. So this is a turbocharged engine, a 2.0 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder making 288 horsepower, and it has a turbocharger, like I said, and has a little boost gauge, which is kind of cool. So if you do rev it, you can't see the boost rise right now, but I guess when we're driving you can see that. It's just kind of, oh, here we go. Look at that. Cool gauges. It's nice to see Alfa Romeo including that. This is a performance-y oriented car as Alfa Romeo has in their history. Consumption history, efficient drive, and one of my favorites is the all-wheel drive torque split. I don't know why, I just really like seeing torque splits of all-wheel drive systems when I'm moving them along. Some other stuff in this infotainment system, you have vehicle information, you know, nothing really that cool with that. It's just like your miles and service history and connected services. So it's nice Alfa Romeo is adding that on here as well. And of course your settings, which you can access from a quick button over there. So again, this is the new infotainment system. I personally like it really well, and you can even customize it too, like a widget style, so you can drag and drop and put to other sides. I'm pretty impressed. There's a really nice upgrade from the original system, and I'm surprised that they didn't screw it up, so that's really nice to see something here. So coming back over to the center screen, you do have a digital screen, and of course you have 2 analog gauges right there. Unfortunately, we don't have a full digital display yet. Maybe we'll see this later on, but in this generation we don't have digital displays yet. But the dials are really nice. I personally like this a lot better than digital gauges. I like how the font is, how it's all oriented, and especially when you rev it up. You can see the dials turn like that. It's really nice to see. Of course, this is a multifunctional center screen, so you have things like cruise control, your volume, Bluetooth, phone, all that stuff, and you can access that through these little menus in the screen. It's not that really customizable, so there's not much to see over here, but it's nice to have a display over there. Another cool feature is these air vents up here. I know Mercedes does something similar like this. They kind of move in like this airplane style design. We can turn the center fans around. These are actually only on the sides of the Stelvio. The center ones have these more rectangular shaped ones. And you know, climate control works pretty well. It's kind of hot today. It's like 84 degrees, so it's a nice feature to have. Other than that, again, we have the door panel. These seats are actually really supportive and comfortable. Again, this is I believe this is a Lusso spec. I didn't get a spec sheet for this car, so I'm kind of going off my head. Really nice with the Alfa Romeo logo embossed into the headrest right there. Really nice stitched leather going all the way across, and this cool pattern in between. I personally find them very comfortable. If you are a bit wider, it might be a bit tight because these bolsters are actually a bit bigger than they seem in the camera. But the lower half is pretty flat with some sculpture on the side, so it does give you some nice support. And you do have a whole bunch of controls on the sides. You can't see them, but they're all over here. You have a lumbar sport and all that stuff, so it's really nice. And again, just over here you have some headlight controls and automatic headlights and all that type of stuff over there. So that's really a nice overview of the new updates for the 2020 Stelvio. Again, quality and materials have been stepped up massively, and that's really the main things Alfa Romeo wanted to highlight with this 2020 model year. Now let's go to the rest of the interior. Going up, we have this view I was talking about. As you can see, it is not that nice. You can't see that much out of there. So thankfully you have blind spot monitoring, all this stuff. And honestly, even the A-pillars are pretty huge. You know, I drive a Subaru and there's a lot of visibility, and this just doesn't have a lot of visibility out of it. It does have more like hunkered down. I feel like I'm sitting in the vehicle instead of like on top of the vehicle like a lot of SUVs feel. I personally like this more. I know a lot of people, if you're buying an SUV, you kind of want to feel like you're inside the vehicle. So this is like my eye level right here, if you guys can see. So you kind of feel like you're in it instead of like sitting up on top of it like a lot of like more SUV products. Now coming up to the top, you do have this beautiful panoramic sunroof up here. It does open. You have a shade that can go and cover it, and this is all controlled through this console up here. Of course, you have your lights, which are LEDs. They're really kind of dim actually. Interesting to see that, but again, yeah, you do have that. You have your shade, and of course, you have your mirrors up here with your light. Hi guys. Let's see if it passes the visor test. Jacob and Yuri. Oh, that was not a nice sound. And it does pass the visor test, so that is cool to see. And you do have your garage home link features up here, which is nice to see. Nice grab handle and a Bluetooth microphone for that stuff. So let's go take a look at the back seats and see if there's enough legroom back there. And now, again, the rear doors too also have nice multi-level stitched leather and all this nice materials. And you do have this really nice leather going across, even all the way down to the end of the door trim, which is really nice. You have these nice aluminum sill plates with the Alfa Romeo script. And now let's go take a seat inside. So again, that easy, nice floor going in, shut the door. This door didn't feel as solid as the front one, which is pretty interesting. Now, personally, I am 6 feet 1 inches, so I have a pretty good legroom. I set the seat to my normal driving position, and you can see I have about like 2 to 3 inches of legroom right here. My feet are a little bit cramped, as you can see. The pedestals for the seats are right there, so it kind of impedes on that. But otherwise, I have decent room. There is a nice cubby underneath it to put my feet there. On the center console, we do have these rotary style air vents right here again, and you do have 2 USB ports down here for charging and a nice little cubby hole. There is a big center console for that rear wheel drive system. And again, this one is all-wheel drive optional, so that goes all the way up to the front. The seats themselves are pretty soft actually. Again, the leather is really nice, stitched on the inside and the outside. And again, it has that nice pattern in the center. Coming to the center piece, actually, you do fold it down. You have 2 cup holders. Some nice Alfa Romeo script going on right there too. They really like to put that all throughout the vehicle. Now, here's an interesting thing that kind of answered my question as to why you can't see out of this car. And you do, again, have a sloping roofline. Additional to the sloping roofline, you have this cover that has to zip back into this entire piece right here. So this lowers the height of the roof, makes it the visibility. Look how much room this is. This is the top of this to the top of the vehicle. It's not that much. That's why it's kind of like the squinted view when you're try to look out from the mirror. Now this is really interesting. I haven't seen this before. You do have lights right back here behind your head. So I guess they thought it gets pretty dark back here too. It's pretty all like squinted in. So you do have lights that kind of project out here. They don't not look pretty bright right now, but maybe in the dark they'll look better. Other than that, it's pretty nice. You have your ISOFIX points right here. Looking out to the side, your your windows are pretty big. It goes all the way back to the back of your head, so you don't feel super cramped like in a new Mazda 3 hatchback to say, because that's really bad in there. Button back here, normally, you know, you have an unlock button, but this is the back, so if you have kids, it's good that you can only lock the doors and not unlock them from back here. You do have your speaker grills up here, over there. On the back of the seats, you have some nice netting. Other than that, yeah, this is pretty much it for the interior. Otherwise, I'm pretty impressed with it. Overall, the driving experience is really nice. My only big gripe against that weird brake system, poor visibility out of the back, but otherwise the interior quality, materials, everything's super nice and supple. It feels really expensive, and I personally really like that. I do appreciate that from Alfa Romeo. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this review, and please make sure to follow us on Instagram and on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and all these other places for more information. There's a lot more stuff coming down the road, not just from Alfa Romeo, but from loads of other brands. A lot of content coming for you guys. So please make sure to subscribe here and again on Instagram and on my other platforms. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more.